Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for November's mid-month mini mission inspiration challenge over on our Facebook group. So let me turn over to my overhead camera. I'll show you the random letter that was chosen for the month. I'll read through the words for inspiration, then I'll show you what I'm going to use or what I'm going to create based on those prompts. Okay, so the random letter chosen from our little pot this month was the letter I, and the 5 words for inspiration are inside, inferno, island, ink and indigo. Now last month I managed to do all 5 of the prompts for my art tag. This month I don't think I'm going to be able to because they're just too diverse really. I can't really think of anything that I can link with these together, so I'm only going to choose 1 or 2. So I think what I might try and do is try and just kind of tentatively do the ink one, definitely, possibly the indigo, and maybe the inside. I don't know whether I can choose or do maybe the inferno with the indigo, because the colours for infernos are going to be all reds, oranges and yellows, whereas indigos are all going to be kind of bluey purpley kind of colours, so I don't think they're going to go. So the colour theme for me this month I think is going to be blues and that kind of borderline purpley colour. So that's what I'm going to go for with this, with a little bit of warmness thrown in. So it's going to be mostly ink and indigo, and if I can squeeze something on the inside then I will do. So let me pop the prompts to one side. I've already drawn around my art tag for the month. That's Mr. Bentley waggling his ears. Hello, where are you going? Oh, he's finding one of the beds to get comfy in. So like I said, I've already drawn around my template for my art tag using the acrylic cover. As I said, I think last month, I probably will still be doing the art tags for my mini mission next year. If you're wanting to play along and you want to grab yourself one of the art tag kits, which are the acrylic cover, the book ring and an MDF back, then there are still some on my website if you're interested in grabbing that and playing along with me next year. Or you could just make your own. Right, so I'll just give that a quick chomp. Oh, that's a little bit bigger than it should have been, I think. Right, so that's the tag. Let me just see if I can round those corners. Now, where's my corner rounder disappeared off to? I've tied it up, so I'll have to sort that out later. Just trim that down just by a tad. A hair's width. There we go. Into the bin we go. Okay, so that's my art tag that I'm going to be working on today. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to use some ink. So let's pop that art tag to one side, grab my stamp platform, and I'm going to bring out this stamp from Indigo Blue. It's a really, well, it's an old stamp. It's one of their earliest designs really, but it's such a versatile one that it's still just played and played and played and played. I've used this to death practically. In fact, I'm probably due a replacement because it's almost worn out. This is an image of Italian opera singer Lina Cavaliere, who was very famous back in the day. So let me just pop some paper down on my platform. I know it's filthy, don't judge. I'm sure yours are just as bad as mine. Or maybe you're one of these tidy girls, I don't know. Or boys, tidy boys. Let's not be sexist about this. Right, drop that down onto there. So that's going to give us a really nice clean impression of that. Now we did say, and by we I meant me, that we were going to use kind of blue indigo-y kind of colours for this. So I'm going to try and find an indigo kind of bluey colour to stamp with. So I'll be right back once I've had a trawl through my ink collection. I've had a rake through my collection, so I'm going to go for a solvent-based ink, oil-based ink, because I want to be using some watercolours later and I don't want anything to smudge. So I'm going to use an opposite to what I want to do. So oil-based for the main focal, and then I'm going to use water-based inks for all the rest of the colour. So I've got 3 colours that I've found in my collection from StazOn. I've got Vibrant Violet, Blue Hawaii, or Teal Blue. Obviously some of these are still brand new, look, they've still got the wrappers on. But I've used the Blue Hawaii one, obviously, but I like this teal blue colour. I think I'm going to use that because it's going to be kind of a darkish colour, I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Right, so let's... Oh, the smell. They used to smell like almonds. It StazOn. What's this? Faint almondy smell. Right, let's ink it up and see what this gives us. It's going to be a fairly dark print, I think, which is what I want, really. If you want to purchase this stamp from Indigo Blue, I'll pop a little link in the description area below this video, because it's a beautiful stamp to have in your collection. Do me a favour, when you place your order, if there's a facility on their website for to leave a message or a comment with your order, just tell them I sent you, will you? Because I know I do. Look at that. It just wants another coat, I think. So in the middle somewhere. I do a lot of work with Indigo Blue, as you probably know. But it's just interesting for me to know just how that actually translates. Whenever I use an Indigo Blue product, there's a hair on that now, look. I don't know whether or not anybody ever goes and like purchases, so it'll be interesting for me, and I'll ask them to like do a tally to see how many of you actually do go across and buy the stamp. But like I said, if you're having this in your collection, you won't, you'll always find a use for it. Right, I think that's going to be all right for me for now. Anyway, this is not going to be the main focal image, but you can see how beautiful that stamps. And there are so many different applications for this. I'm going to be doing it again in a little while, so I could do with maybe just a bit of tissue. That'll do, just put that under there. So I'll be coming back to it later. Right, so this is going to be a mask. So I need to cut it out. There we go. So I'll just cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's the mask cut out. I've only done half of it because I'm only going to use half the actual mask, or half the size, or half of it that way. Right, so I'll put that to one side, and now I'm going to bring in my art tag and the stamp platform again. So this time I'm going to put the tag down, and then I'm going to reposition the stamp so that it comes in about halfway. This is the reason why I only wanted half of the mask doing. Maybe just a little bit more around that side. Just make a few adjustments. Do it on the fly, which is another word for winging it. Now then, is that actually going to pull in past that neckline? I might have to cut the entire thing out, to be honest. Might just do it about there. I can feel this ink is still wet. I'm going to have a blue thumb in a minute. I kid you not. Okay, so yeah, I think that's probably going to be about there, isn't it? So I just need to move it about there. That, I think, is going to do it. Okay, so we've got a little bit of thing there. Now, is that too blue? Is it too blue? Maybe if I do a bit of blue over the top, I'll do blue first and then do a little kind of like purpley tint over the top of it. That might kind of mix together. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. I think I've had these ink pads for a good 2 years in my stash and never used them. So it's about time I got my money's worth out of them, don't you think? Rather than just sitting there in the tub gathering dust. And then into the middle. Like it, like it. Alright, we'll just go over once more. Now I'm stamping onto watercolor cardstock, in case you're wondering. Sorry, watercolor cardstock, it's mixed media cardstock. Let me just see if I can grab the pad. I don't know whether I've still got the cover. Oh, there it is, look, it's that. So, mixed media, multi-techniques, De La Rowney, £169, 250 GSM. These are A3 ones, you can't get them in A4. But yeah, so that's what I'm stamping on. So I'm using this because you can also use water-based watercolours, inks, that kind of stuff. There we go. That's better. Now then, what I want to do is just grab that purple. Let's see if I can get it open. The violet. A pair of scissors there, look. Duh. Wouldn't that have been simpler to do in the first place? But never let it be said. Now then, I don't particularly want to put the pink or the violet down while I've still got that kind of blue on it, so let me just give that a wipe. I don't normally bother cleaning my stamps because once you've conditioned them, I know a lot of people like to clean their stamps, but I'm not one of them, and I know that Mr. Holtz also feels the same way. He never cleans any of his stamps either. He just gives them a rub. Right, so to get that kind of indigo bluey colour, which is a cross between that blue and purple, that'll do. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's take that off. It's kind of absorbed into itself, hasn't it? But that's fine. Right, let's put that away and I'll clean that later, he says. So that's going to be the area that I want to work with. So that's going to be the mask that I put over the top to protect when I add some more colours. Right, so those get put away now, those solvent-based inks, back in their little tubette. And now I need to get some water-based inks out, back in a mo. Okay, so the three colours I've pulled out from my ordinary distress ink collection: Seedless Preserves, Chipped Sapphire and Victorian Velvet. Victorian Velvet I'm going to pop up there for a second because I'm going to do a mixture of these two kind of bluey purpley colours. So let's just grab an ink and then I'm just going to turn that round so that I've got a little bit of access. Just try and match up out there, and then I'm going to start coming in with that ink. And then across, down at the bottom and then up, and then round the nearly around the sides there. Now the thing with these inks is that you can carry on going round for quite a while, and you'll get more of a kind of in-depth colour saturation the more you kind of add to it. But in my experience, I've found that after a certain time they actually don't get any deeper. So they reach like a saturation point and that's it. They don't get any darker, they don't get any deeper. Right, so let's put that back. And now this time with the Seedless Preserves, I'm going to start on the actual mask and then come out into the area to blend. We'll blend the two colours together. Okay, switch it round again, line up the stamp, and I have to be very careful of in this corner. There we go, that's it. In with the blue, just blend a little over the top, so do a little bit of a back and forth dance. And you know when to stop when you can't really see any more of those light whitish areas. That's when you know that you've reached kind of like saturation point. Yeah, I think that will do nicely. Okay, so let me have a quick tidy and wipe up, get rid of this ink off my mat. I've kept that Victorian Velvet to one side. Like I said, I've got a use for that in a little while. So I'll grab another wet wipe. Try not to knock my coffee cup over. Just move that out of the way. There we go. Right, let me have a quick clean up and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, next up, Distress Ink, Victorian Velvet. I'm going to squidge some of that down on the mat. Victorian Velvet or Tattered Rose, if you've got it, works well for this. I'm going to put a little bit of pink down onto the mat, mix it with some water, and then I'm going to use it just as a kind of faint watercolour. Bearing in mind I'm using a cardstock which works well with watercolours. So being able to use your distress inks as watercolours is absolutely perfect. Okay, so just clear that. Get some more. And this time I'm not going to go in with the water just yet. It should still be damp enough. For me to be able to blend it. Just don't forget we've got darker areas over here. Just underneath. There we go. And then just a little bit on the neck. There we go. And then let's just bring that down. Into that face there. I'm happy with that. Let me just blend that a little bit more. Cool. Okay, so I just need to give that a few seconds to dry and then I'll be right back. Okay, so while that's drying, I've pulled out one of my journal word sets. So this is the Journal Words 2. Obviously by me, for Indigo Blue, and I'm going to use the word imagine, because we're using words beginning with the letter I. So imagine fits in with that. So this is a bit of the scrap paper from when I did the tag, and I'm going to use that chipped sapphire. The stamp block that I'm using is one of my skinny mini skinny mini stamp blocks. They're really thin and flexible stamp blocks that are easy to transport and carry around with you. So let's just stamp that down there. Give it a good squeeze. There we go. Perfect. That'll do. So that can go back on there. These stamps, the journal words, they're still available on the website if you're interested in those, as are the skinny minis. This is a complete lovely advert for me today, isn't it? Not only am I advertising Indigo Blue, but I'm advertising my own stamps and equipment. Perfect. Now then, pair of skizzers. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just cut that really kind of close to. There we go. That's better. I'm doing it this way so I can actually see the top of the word. Whereas if I did it the other way, I'd obscure it a little bit. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so now I've got a little bit of that seedless preserves, I think, just left, so I'm just going to go over it a little bit. Don't want to smudge it too much. That'll do. I should have left it to dry a little bit first. Okay, so I'll put that to one side. Right, so back onto the background. I'm going to do a little bit of ghosting on this. So I need to get some water, and I'm going to just spray some in my hand, and I'm going to just let it drop. Don't want any going in there. Not that it will affect the stays on. It's just going on randomly. I suppose I could have used the splatter brush really, couldn't I? To do this, and I'm just going to leave it to sit for a few seconds. Just see if I can grab a splatter brush. Yeah, see, it would have been a lot easier. There we go. The back of this tag's going to look awful, but never mind. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a second or two so that the ink has chance to kind of react, or react, reinvigorate, rejuvenate, if you like. And then I'm going to grab my kitchen roll, a roll of kitchen roll, and I'm just going to roll it over the top. And that will lift that water from the tag and give us that really kind of nice ghosted background like that. Okay, so probably we'll just need a little bit of time to dry, but before I let it dry I want to add some more colour. So this is another stamp. This is Art Gives You Wings from Indigo Blue, and obviously it's got wings and it's got a nice little background, so I'm going to be using that. Actually, let's bring back that Stays On stuff. And let's see, have we got a darker colour? Gothic Purple. That sounds rather yummy. There we go, again, another one that I haven't opened. I don't know why I buy these things and never use them. So Gothic Purple, there we go. I'm not using a stamp block for this one. So let's just go all the way around. Grab the mask. Lay that down. Flip it over, and then we can drop that onto the paper, onto the tag. Lovely. And then we'll do that again. Just over here. I'm liking that. Alright, let's get that cleaned up. Because this is solvent based ink, so it won't come off with ordinary water, you'd have to use alcohol. Then it'll lift. There we go. Right. Just give this a few minutes to dry and then I'll be right back. Okay, so that's a few minutes to dry. So while it was drying, I just went ahead and added the mission brief for the month of November onto the back. So all I need to do now is just to add in my Imagine word. So again, while that was drying, I just added a little bit more of that Victorian velvet distressing just inside, just so that it kind of ties itself in with the main image from the stamp set. So let's grab some glue. Don't need a huge amount for this. That'll do. And then I can just add that just there, I think. Yeah. I'm happy with that. There we go. So, hole punch. Do you know, I deliberately put these somewhere where I'd be able to find very easily, and look, they've disappeared again. How can something so big vanish? There they have slipped down. Ugh. Right, I need to just mark out where the hole needs to go. So flip that over, grab the pencil. About there. Okay, and I think we're done. So that is my art tag for the November's mid-month mini mission inspiration over on the Mission Inspiration Facebook group. I will put the URL on the screen here, but there's also going to be a clickable link in the description area below to the Facebook group. Obviously my website is there as well, but I'll also put a link to that, the Indigo Blue website, so that if you're interested in that Jane stamp, you can go pop across there and grab that from them. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this inked indigo art tag this month, obviously using the word imagine, which is another word popped in there. So if you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.